What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the BMW today. Now then, today I want to adjust my parking brake or handbrake or e-brake, whatever you want to call it. It is way too slack. I have to pull the lever up, must be 7 or 8 clicks just to get it to stay still. If I'm parking on any kind of incline, I have to leave it in gear, otherwise my car will just roll away. So today we're going to be tackling that, and I plan to show you guys exactly how I'm going to be doing it. Now, the handbrake setup on this car is a little bit different. I don't know if it's a BMW thing, I don't know if it's a German car thing, but you actually have to adjust the handbrake tension at the rear wheels, at the rear hubs, as opposed to just, you know, adjusting a nut underneath the handbrake lever. So that's going to be different. I've never really adjusted one of these handbrake setups before. So without further ado, let's get outside, let's get to the rear wheels, and let's see what's going on. Okay then, so we have the rear of the car up in the air, supported by jack stands. And I like to put the jack stands underneath these lower control arms here. They're actually part of the rear subframe. They seem to support it quite well. And then I've got some chocks in front of the front wheels just to stop the car from rolling anywhere. Next thing I'm going to do is remove both of the rear wheels. Now, bearing in mind, you don't actually have to remove the rear wheels. I think it will make it easier though if you do, but in theory you only actually have to remove one of the wheel bolts, but I'll explain why in a little bit. But what I'm going to do is remove both of the rear wheels just so that I can show you guys kind of what's going on a little bit easier. So let's get these off first. Okay then, so next thing I'm going to do is take the parking brake off. So that's fully off now. Okay then, so now that the handbrake is off, the hubs move fairly easily. Obviously we've got a little bit of resistance because it's turning the drive shafts into the diff, and then it's turning the other side as well. But they're pretty free. Now we can tell the handbrake is not on. Okay, now what you need to do now is actually line up one of the bolt holes with a cog that's in the hub, which actually spreads out the handbrake shoes. So if you imagine that this is the hub, there's actually 2 shoes on the inside of it. So there's one there and then there's another one there, and they actually spread out, and that is when you pull the handbrake lever, these shoes are spreading out onto the inside of the brake disc, and that's how the handbrake parking brake actually works. So what you need to do is, on this particular model, so on the E65 series, the cog will be located at the bottom. So what you want to do is make sure that there's 2 holes at the top, 1 hole at the bottom, and then you're not going to be able to see this on camera, but inside there is a cog, which you need to get a long flat bladed screwdriver in and then prise the cog so that turns round, and then it pushes the handbrake shoes out. So we're going to try and turn that cog to get the handbrake as tight as possible, because essentially what we want to do is stop this hub from turning. Once we have achieved that, we will then back the handbrake off a little bit so we can just move it slightly, and then once we pull the lever, it will then be perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and locate the cog, and then let's get it rotating so we can move those shoes out into the inside of the brake disc. Okay, now then, the hub is fixed solid, so that means the handbrake shoes are fully pushed out into the inside of the brake disc. Now how I got here was by using the screwdriver on top of the cog and levering up away from me. So you want the cog to, let me just think about this. So you want the cog to rotate towards you, and then to loosen the handbrake shoes you want the cog to rotate the other way. So I'm going to put the screwdriver underneath and still lever up, but because I've got it underneath the cog, it's obviously going to turn the other way rather than this way. It's quite confusing, but in essence, to tighten the handbrake you just need to put the screwdriver on top of the cog, and then to loosen it you need to put it underneath the cog, and then it'll do so. You'll see anyway. I'm just going to try and loosen this off, just a couple of clicks. So I've got it underneath. That was one. Still can't turn it. It was two. Still can't turn it. It was three, I think. There we go. Just about turn it there, but that's still binding a bit. We don't want it that tight when we're driving because obviously there's too much resistance there. So we'll try one more. There we go, that's four. Now that feels pretty good there, so I'm just going to try the handbrake in the car and see how that feels. Now we want this handbrake to be holding on like 4 or 5 clicks, so let's try it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if that's holding. Yeah, that's fixed solid. Let's try 4. Fixed solid. Let's try 3. Probably should have done this the other way around, but there you go. 3. Yeah, fixed solid. 2. 1, 2. Okay, so that's 2. I can just about move it. That's about right where we want it. Okay then, so now that this moves freely, that is this side done. It's time to tackle the other side. Okay then, so this is with the handbrake off, and to be honest it's probably not a million miles away from where we want it to be, but we're gonna tighten it up first so that we can't move it at all, and then again we're gonna loosen it off just a couple of clicks. So let's find the cog. Okay, so this side's actually opposite then, so to loosen it you put the screwdriver on top and then lever up, and then to tighten it you put the screwdriver underneath and then lever down. So we need to put the screwdriver underneath to tighten it up. There we go, that's fixed solid now. And we're just going to back it off. That's one. There's only one, and that feels very free. But we'll try it on the handbrake. Okay then, so I think this one is now good enough, but before we call it a day, I'm actually going to go ahead and put the wheels back on. Just rotate the wheels just to make sure we have no rolling resistance, and then it should be job done then. I hate wheel bolts. Okay then, so put the wheels back on, and I'd say it has to be between 5 and 6 clicks before these fully lock up. which I wanted it between 4 and 5. So I think what I'm going to do is actually tighten these one more, and then it should be perfect then, because 1 click pretty much does nothing. 2, you start to feel it. So I think if I get it 1 more, then it should be about bang on where I want it then. Okay then, so we've tightened it up once more, and we've got 4 clicks on the handbrake lever, and this is pretty difficult to move now. So I would say this is stuck between 4 and 5, right where we want it. So this wheel can now stay on. I'm just going to go ahead and tighten up the other side by 1, then we're good. Okay then, this is 4 clicks once again. I can just about move it. And then 5. Yeah, I can't move that. So when I say 5 clicks, I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can feel that's tight there. And that's that wheel locked. And it's that wheel locked. And now that the wheels are on, just need to get the car back on the ground, torque the wheels up, and then we're good. Make sure you remove your chocks. Okay then, so that is the handbrake all done and adjusted. To be honest, it feels perfect now, right on 4 or 5 clicks. It's right about where I wanted it, and it's just going to give me so much more confidence now, you know, parking on a hill. Now, to be honest, I'll probably still park it in gear. Obviously, if I'm pointing up a hill, I'll park it in first gear. If I'm pointing down a hill, I'll park it in reverse. I think it's just good practice to do so. If for whatever reason your handbrake cable decided to snap, then, you know, if it's in gear, it's really not going to go anywhere. But it is much better to have a fully functioning, working as it should handbrake. and yeah, just feel so much better now. So I hope this video has been somewhat helpful, so please give this video a like if it has and you've enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below, subscribe if you have not already done so, because I've got so many more BMW videos on the way you don't even realise. And yeah, I'll see you guys in that next video. Peace!